Hi, and welcome back. I thought we'd go ahead and I said I was going to do a review on the AT-6666 Pro, the Anytone, and take a look at it after I've had it a couple weeks.
On the remote control, reading to North America from Juliet Echo and Lima Echo Daniel.
All right, if you were listening there, this is a ham radio operator on 10 meters in Tokyo. And usually I start picking up Japan in the early afternoon, and then switching over probably later this afternoon, I start picking up South America. In the morning, I've been picking up Europe. A few days ago, I talked to a couple contacts in Italy, another one in France. This morning, I was hearing quite a few originating from Germany. Yeah, all these contacts have been made on the Solarcon A99 antenna, and it's mounted on a pole probably about 14 feet off the ground, so it's not up very high. If this video looks a little familiar, it was the opening shot of my range test on the tri-band radios. But anyway, I wanted to show again why I think that this antenna is doing so well without being very high up. I think it's because I sit in a valley surrounded by granite mountains that reach up to 11,000 feet. Our elevation here is about 5,000 feet, and I think I'm getting that my radio signal is reflecting off the mountains, and I think that's why I do so well in skip. I've been hearing with the solar cycle, I've been hearing stations all over the world. It's just amazing conditions that I have here. Right out of the box, this will work on 10, 11, and 12 meters. And if you switch a jumper, which I showed in my first video, you can get this to also work with on the 15 meter band. Now this radio, if you want, you're able to use the control knob here and switch it through channels, which, you know, a lot of people that have CBs are used to doing. But I myself, I prefer it in VFO mode, like a true ham radio. And that's the mode we're going to be in as we look at some of the settings I have. So to get into VFO mode, you just hold the band button and it switches over into VFO mode. The quickest way to get around in VFO mode is to push the button in here on the channel knob, channel select knob. It pushes in and you can cycle through the digits and go to the position you want to get to. So let's see, we're at 21.5, so we are actually on a little bit above the 15 meter band. The 15 meter band tops out at 21.45. So what we could do if we wanted. There we are. We're at the end of the 12 meter band. Actually, I'm sorry, 15 meter band. Let's say we wanted to go to the 10 meter band, which starts at 28 megahertz. So we would and there we are at the beginning of the 10 meter band. And then you just let it stop. Now, when I go through the different frequencies here, you can see that I have it set to 1 kilohertz steps. And you can change the settings for that, and what you need to do is go into the menu, and I believe it's number 3, and there you can see your steps. And like I say, I like to have it on 1 kilohertz. That seems to be a pretty good setting to be able to scroll through the frequencies on the band you're at. And one thing I'm not thrilled with on this radio, when you go on the channel select push button here, but I kind of don't like the clicking it does. I just wish it was a smooth motion to go through the frequencies. But after using this a couple days, I realized, I mean, I knew it all along, that you could go up the frequencies, up and down the frequencies with the buttons on the microphone. And let me show you here. You can either click, or if you hold it down, it scrolls through them pretty quickly. And it's not too fast that and it's not going through the frequencies so fast that you can't hear when someone's on a specific frequency. So let me show you again. So you can tell someone's, let's back up a little. Then you can just fine tune it onto the frequency you want. Another setting I changed here on the mode here. You can go through the different modes. And it did have a CW mode, but I don't see myself using that much right now. So using the software on my computer, the PC software for this radio, I was able to go in there and you can turn off or on whichever modes you want to use or not use. So I turned off the CW mode. Now another function you're probably going to want to use is this. It's this, you can read it there, RNR. It's a noise reduction. You can use it on transmit or receive or both. I use it on receive, and it has several different settings on here. That will turn it off or on. If you hold it, it's item number 29 on the menu. Now remember, this radio has an update. So it has the menu items might not match your radio if you haven't run the update yet. But anyway, I'm not sure what it does, but it has a setting of 1 to 5. Let me show you the lowest setting just to show you what it does. Okay. Show you how it sounds different. Let's find the...
Brand new tires. It'll have a brand new battery.
Okay, there's one.
And yeah, good deal.
And you can see, if you get up to the higher settings,
they could have been factory. They're floorboards, and
it reduces the noise,
might have been like an option thing.
but it sounds funny. So I've found a good compromise is around 2. So the voice sounds more natural.
They say Harley on them. Which floorboards are nicer than pegs, but I don't ride passengers,
Off,
so they won't be as much
on.
use.
So it gets rid of a lot of the static. And like I said, at around 2, you don't really notice much of a difference in the receive of the voice. All right, let's look at some of the functions here. Let's start on number 1, which is the key beep, which I have turned off. 2 is the LCD transmit display. Oops, let's get back on that. And what I have it set for is SWR. When I transmit, it shows my SWR. And you can have it off. Of course, SWR. The voltage, I'm not sure what's that one. Tot. Total remaining time in transmit. I'm not really sure what that means. But I like to know what my SWR is, so that's where I have it set. And then let's go back. 3 is the step. We've already talked about that. 4 is the mic gain. 5 is the mic type. You can have it set for electric microphone, or you could have it, oops, where were we? Microphone type. Or you can have it for a dynamic microphone. Okay, let's go to the next one here, which is, that was a noise filter, I believe. Okay, next one is AMNPC. And that says 2 settings for that. Off and disable AMNPC function. And to be honest, I'm really not sure what that is. Okay, let's go to the next one. Volume path. It controls the internal speaker volume. Or the microphone jack. The microphone jack output volume. And there's another setting for both. Let's go back to that again. So if we did that main, which I think is the default. So we'll just leave it there. I don't think that's something I need to worry about. Let's go to the next one, which is monitor gain talkback. And I'm really not quite sure on that. It says there's 33 levels. I just leave it on the default on that also. There's echo. I don't use echo. Let's see. There's echo. What's the first one? The first one, I think, is echo levels. Next one's echo delay timing. This is, let's see, total set. I think it says total of 10 minutes available, default 180 seconds. I'm guessing maybe if you talk too long, it disconnects to avoid overheating. I'm not really sure on that. If someone does know, leave a comment. I'd be interested to know. All right, next one is SWR, which is on. It also, let's go back to that. I have that on, and I programmed it through the cable to the PC. And I think I have it set, if the SWR gets above, I think it's a 3.1, it will disengage from transmitting. And The reason why I have it on 3.1 is on 10 meters. When I'm on the end of the band, I'm right around there on my SWR. So I realize if I'm talking to someone, I probably don't want to be at full 80 watts, and I probably don't want to talk that long. But most of the activity on 10 meters, at least from what I notice, is on the lower end of the band, because that's where technicians are allowed to talk. So that's where it seems like most of the activity is, at least on upper sideband. All right, next one we have is, let's look at that one again. TDC set, that would disable the voltage protection function, or on to enable it. And by default, it's on. I don't know why you would want to disable the voltage protection, but you can set the limits on that also with the programming cable and software on the computer. All right, next on our menu is the scan type. You can either have squelch-based scan function or time-based scan function, and the default's squelch-based scan function. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what that does. Again, if you know, please leave a comment. And next on the menu is the clarifier set, or the clarifier. And what you can do with that function is you can enable receive frequency adjustment, which if someone's off frequency, you can tune them in. You can also do it on transmit, though I don't think I would. I really don't see why you would want to adjust your transmit on the clarifier unless your radio was off frequency. Otherwise, I would just leave it off. And the default is receive only, and that's probably where I would leave it. Okay, next we have clarifier frequency range. And that has a lot of adjustments you can do. It's by default on 500 hertz. And I'm not really sure what that does. So as usual, I just left it on default. Right, next we have, let's see, the dimmer, and that will adjust your backlight. And then we have color, which will adjust the color of your radio screen. And then transmit color, that's a new one. You can adjust what color your screen will be on transmit. And I put it on red. Even though you can see if you're transmitting over here. On the light here will turn red when you're transmitting. And then we have dual watch channel. I haven't really played around with that. That enables you, I think, to monitor a couple different stations. Haven't really played around with that. Then we have emergency channel 1, emergency channel 2. Okay. And then after that, we have transmit repeater shift. I'm pretty sure you use that if that would probably if you're dealing with like a 10-meter repeater. And I don't have any repeaters here, so that function, I really probably will never use that on the radio. Okay, then the next function is automatic squelch level, and it has 9 different levels, and by default it's set on 5. And then what's another one? The next one is, I think that's voice activation. So that's either on or off. I think you can use this radio by voice. Never tried that before. And then that would also go with the next one. Is the voice VOX sensitivity. And that has 9 different levels. It's by default on 3. And then the last one on 27 is the delay time. Well, no, actually, that is not the last one. The last one will be 27, which is voice VOX speaker. Like I said, I've never used that function, so someone in the comments might be able to explain it better than I can. And then 28 on the menu is, let's see, what do we have here? RX noise reduction level. And there's 5 settings. I think we already kind of went over that one. And let's see. Yes, we did go over that, sorry. That was one with 5 settings, and I keep it on number 2. All right, so next one is transmit noise reduction, and I don't use that. By default, it's off. And I don't really see me ever using that function. And then next on our menu is FM deviation. And I'm not sure quite what that does to your FM signal, but it looks like you have 2 settings. You can do 2 kilohertz or 4 kilohertz. And I'm guessing different regions of the world might use a different deviation. But by default here, it's set on 2K. Okay, next we have our SSB transmit audio. And you can set it to high 4K for the bandwidth. Low is 3K, which is 3 kilohertz bandwidth. And by default, it's on high. And again, I'm going to assume maybe different regions have different settings there. I'm not sure. And then next we have CW beep, which is the CW volume side tone. And by default, that's on 31. That's on, yeah, like if you do Morse code, and, maybe in the future I'll try that, but I think I'd probably leave it on the default. And then that will go in with the next one, which is CW frequency. And let's go on the 34 or 35, which is, we already went over that one. Let's see, that was CW frequency. Okay, that's a new setting on here, which is CW receive, and I'm not quite sure on that either, since I don't do Morse code, so I probably wouldn't do a very good job of explaining that. So feel free to jump in the comments if for those of you who do use that function. And then there's another, this was another one of the new menu items too. CWBK. I'm not 100% sure what that one is. It was probably in the notes on the updates when I ran the radio update, but like I said, I don't do Morse code on the radio, so I'm not sure what that setting entails either. Okay, CW shift. Okay, the AGC S meter response. You can set it to slow or fast, and by default, it is slow. And oh, I guess that would be how fast the S meter down here goes up and down. So if you want it fast, you can do fast, slow, it'll go slower. And I just left that where it is. And then 35, well, it's not going to be 35 anymore. Let's go on here. The PF key is user-defined. Right here, you can choose what you program that for. And right now I have mine programmed to SWR. And there are 16 possible combinations you can do. All right, and let's go on. We're almost through them all now. And this is called the DTMF encode. And let's see. I'm not quite sure what that does. I'm thinking that has something to do with repeaters, but not entirely sure on that one. And the last one is reset, and that will settings functions reset to defaults. So if you want to set your radio back to the defaults, you would go to the reset. All right, so that's my thoughts on using this radio for the past 2 weeks. It's a great little radio, does a great job, great price. And this radio works really well with the Solarcon A99 antenna. And I'm beginning to think that being in a valley surrounded by mountains at 5,000 feet works to my advantage for getting skip and getting contacts from all over the world. So thanks for watching. Thanks to all my new subscribers. If you don't yet subscribe and you like my content, please hit that subscribe button. If you like my videos, please hit the like videos. So thanks again, and I will see you next time.